Imagine having the backing of millions of fans, a top-tier ride with Richard Childress Racing, and the momentum of a runaway freight train, only for NASCAR to slam the brakes and say, "No, you're not ready." When Cleetus McFarland was denied entry into the Talladega race, the internet absolutely exploded. People called it unfair. Critics called it a reality check. But what almost nobody realized in that moment of chaos was that getting rejected was the best thing that could have happened to him. Because fast forward to right now, the script has completely flipped. He's not just back, he has secured a return that is infinitely more dangerous and more important than Talladega ever was. We are breaking down exactly how a massive setback turned into a masterclass in proving the doubters wrong. If you love deep dives into the real stories hiding in the NASCAR garage, hit that subscribe button real quick so you don't miss out. Let's get into it. To understand why this comeback is such a big deal, you have to understand the rejection. When NASCAR told Cleetus he couldn't run the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at Talladega, a lot of fans took it personally. But look at it from the sanctioning body's perspective. Super speedways are a completely different beast. You are inches apart, doing nearly 200 miles per hour in a massive pack. One rookie mistake doesn't just ruin your day, it takes out half the field, costs teams millions of dollars, and poses a massive safety risk. NASCAR wasn't saying Cleetus was a bad driver, they were saying the timeline was rushed. It's an evaluation of risk, not just a measure of popularity. The garage area is notorious for being skeptical of outsiders who bring heavy hype but light traditional experience. The whisper was simple: can this guy actually race, or is this just a viral stunt? That brings us to the turning point: Rockingham. On paper, finishing 32nd, 6 laps down sounds like a disaster. The critics were ready to feast, but anyone who actually watched the race saw a completely different story. Rockingham is notoriously brutal on tires and equipment. It is a survival test. Cleetus stepped into a massive spotlight under immense pressure, and he did the one thing he absolutely had to do. He brought the car home in one piece. He didn't overdrive, he didn't tear up other people's equipment, and he showed situational awareness. Combine that with a very solid P4 finish in the ARCA East race that same weekend, and suddenly the narrative shifted. Even the harshest critics, veteran voices who demanded he earn his stripes, had to admit that he kept his nose clean. And then Kansas happened. In the ARCA race, he didn't just survive, he competed. He sliced his way up from 25th to run inside the top 10. He was showing actual legitimate mid-race pace before his engine decided to detonate. He wasn't complaining about the broken motor, he called it a win. He knew what that top 10 run proved to the people holding the clipboard in the NASCAR tower. Progression, which brings us to the massive breaking news. Cleetus McFarland is officially returning to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, May 30th, Nashville Super Speedway, driving the number 33 Tommy's Express for Richard Childress Racing. If you think this is a consolation prize for missing Talladega, you are dead wrong. Nashville is arguably a tougher pure driving test. It's an intermediate track, meaning aerodynamic grip, throttle control, and navigating dirty air are paramount. There is nowhere to hide here. You can't just hang out in the back of a draft. You have to actually drive the racetrack. This is exactly why Cleetus has been grinding in the RCR simulator. His own response to the announcement was perfect. Zero arrogance, pure focus. He knows he has to dial in his left turns, and he knows the entire industry is watching. If he struggles, the doubters get all their ammunition back. But if he puts down a clean, composed run at a tricky intermediate track, the conversation stops being about if he belongs in NASCAR and starts being about how far he can actually go. The rejection didn't end the story, it just raised the stakes. Cleetus McFarland is facing the ultimate test on May 30th, and love him or hate him, you cannot look away. I want to hear from you. Drop into the comments right now. Is Nashville going to be the race that finally silences the critics, or is this track going to be too much of a learning curve? Let me know your honest take. Also, we are pushing hard to hit a massive milestone on this video. Let's absolutely crush the like button and aim for 10,000 likes on this breakdown. It helps the channel immensely and tells the YouTube algorithm that real racing fans want this kind of authentic deep dive content. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our post-race analysis of his Nashville run. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.